is Jen from BK, well, government's Jennifer Lay. I am a media personality and also CEO of Next Generation. I have a radio show here at Hot 97 on Sundays called Live with Jen from Brooklyn.
Hot 97, Jen from BK, what's going on this rain?
I also have a show called Ladies First. It's all about women empowerment, inspiring, and motivation. I'm also the digital manager here at Hot 97, so I wear many, many hats. You know, a lot of people that come into the industry, they sometimes, receive help getting in. I come from those old school days where you had to work your way up. So I started out at Hot 97 as an intern about 10 years ago. I started out interning for Funk Flex, and then from there I jumped onto the Cypher Sounds and Rosenberg morning show when they just got it. And from there I just started working my way up. Again, no help, no assistance, it was just through hard work. Wanted to be a singer, believe it or not, when I was younger. Had dreams of being that first, but that fell out the window because unfortunately sometimes when you're as a kid and you don't have a support that you're looking for, people that don't believe in you, sometimes it steers you away from your dream. I went to MS-51, I went to Midwood High School, it's all Brooklyn schools, and I was in the choir in high school as well. I later went to Fashion Institute of Technology, FIT. Fashion's my second passion. That's something I'm going to eventually come back to later on in my career. And entertainment has always been like what I wanted, some form of it. I didn't know what it was, I just knew I wanted to be in that lane. So then I left and then I went to the Institute of Audio Research, which is the audio engineering school here in New York City. Wow, 17 years. This is, holy shit. Oh my God. I'm not even kidding. You guys, it's the same door inside from when I was a kid. This goes pretty loud. If you used to bang on it, kick on it, like, Jen, Jen! Or from outside, like, yo, hey, yo, Jen! And that's how we'd hear it, because my apartment was straight ahead. We'd hear it, and that's how we knew people were looking for us. They just, like, bang on the door. So ghetto. This is PS 230, my elementary school. Here's where I had my first fight. My first kiss was in here in these hallways. I know, it's so young. Believe it or not, I was fighting, but like I was also a mediator. I don't know if they had that in anyone else's school, but I feel like we made do with what we had because I guess I was so used to it. My mother would come home, and this is before like food stamps. Now they have cards where you can swipe the EBT cards. Back in the day, it was colored money. Like the dollars were like brown, the $5 were like purple. There was a moment when I went to the store, I tried to buy something that wasn't food related. So you have food stamps, you gotta buy food, but like I'm thinking it's regular money. I'm going trying to buy it and the guy told me like, no, you can't buy this. It's food stamps, it's only for food. And that's when I was like, oh, this isn't like regular money that other people have. And that's when I started to realize, okay, maybe this is a different situation. Now, my sister, Hannah, and my cousin Nancy were the neighborhood like girls. Like you do not fuck with them. It's like we're the only Asians in the neighborhood, so we really had to hold our own. And they knew those two girls, Hannah and Nancy, were the girls. Like you don't fuck with them. And they didn't know I was Hannah's sister. And everyone has a bodega. This was my bodega. But there was a lot of memories in here for me. Clearly it changed a whole lot in there. There used to be more aisles. And my sisters and I, well, a bunch of us, we used to steal a lot from the bodega. I remember one time we came with pots and pans, pretending like we had to go to like a dinner party. And as we're talking real loud, we're just shoving food into the pots and the pans. I dropped like 2 bags of potato chips and I just jetted after that. And the guy's cursing me out like, what the fuck, you kids? They loved us though. So the basketball courts used to be here, and these were the handball courts where everyone in the hood was. People from the other side, by East 5th were chilling here. Our side of the neighborhood, this is where everyone came to hang out together, despite which area, which part you were from. You know, when you're a kid, you're just having fun, you're just enjoying life as a kid. You don't really think about these things, but looking back on it, I'm like, damn, like we were poor. I mean, again, you know, it's just something we were used to, like seeing the roaches come on when you turn the lights on. People who live in these situations, they know what I'm talking about. You go into the kitchen, turn the lights on, all these roaches are running in, scattering around. There's mice over there. Like, it was just part of the norm for us, you know? But, you know, it shaped me to who I was. It made me who I am. You know, I don't take nothing for granted. It's humbled me.
These girls are at an age where everything you do is impressionable to them. This is the time where you need to be supportive and really show them different ways and different outlets, avenues of how they can pursue their dreams or just stay positive and stay focused. So I'm honored to be a part of the digital media program, which I'll be working with them come 2018 to really pay it forward and teach these girls that there's so much more that you can do.
Because you guys are so lucky to have the Bella All-Girls Charter School, because you have all these resources for you here. You know what I'm saying? For me, growing up, I didn't have this. I didn't have a school where I'm surrounded by incredible women teaching me, showing me, supporting me how to get to where I want to be. I had to learn that on myself.
Because I didn't have that during my high school days growing up. You know, I had to find that later on. So to create this for them at such an early time in their lives, it means a lot to me.
So Next Generation came from me wanting to create my own content. As an Asian woman in this industry, it's hard for us to really do anything because we're either stereotyped or put in situations where we have to do what people think we want to do. And also to give the young folks out there an opportunity. Talking to all these kids that I meet at these events, like, everyone's always asking me, can I work for you? Let me get this opportunity and stuff. And I start talking to them about how come they're not doing anything. And they tell me that no one's giving them the chance. No one's opening doors, no one's answering back. So for Next Generation, it's all about the future. It's all about creating things that have never been done before. It's all about being out of this world with your ideas. So I'm very excited about what's to come with the company.
I met Jen. I was actually applying for a position at Hot 97, and I didn't get the position at Hot. A couple weeks later, she reached out to me to be on her team. It feels like a privilege, sort of, to have this position because it's not something that you can really apply for. She chose me to do this. I feel really honored to be a part of the team. I started out as her personal assistant, assisting her at events, but now I've moved up to doing filming and editing, behind the scenes stuff for her social media and for YouTube.
I met Jen a few years ago when I was in college at a kind of like a networking event called New York Women in Communication. She was on the panel and I was in the audience and I just introduced myself. At that event, after it was over, I got her Twitter and she got mine, and I tweeted her. I remember this was in 2015. I tweeted her and I said, "Hey Jen, I learned so much from you. I hope that you remember me for the future when I graduate." And then 2 years later, I seen her at another event and I said, "Hey Jen, you remember me?" And she said, "Yeah." And I gave her my phone number and we've been working together ever since.
How I met Jen was actually through Instagram. I had actually emailed her regarding a internship, and she has blessed me with great work since June 1st. Funny how I remember that date because it was actually a very special moment and day for me is to go into the radio station and actually work with Jen firsthand and get to meet a lot of great people.
My number one goal is to see Jen shine and to see Jen make it, only because number one, I know how hard she's worked and how long she's worked, and I know it's not easy for her, and I know that it hasn't been easy for her.
To be able to work with her from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, it was just a great experience because I got to know how she works and how I'm able to work around her.
Working with Jen has made me more comfortable in all aspects to be not only myself, but be comfortable in my talents and what I bring to the table.
One thing that I just learned from being around her, when you hear no or when doors get closed in your face, don't give up and don't take that no as that you're not good enough. Keep going, keep trying.
I'm not afraid anymore to show who I really am and what skill sets that I have, and so I think that working with Next Generation has helped me.
I am in a team full of female dominance, which for me, that's actually pretty cool because it's kind of like you get to learn a women's perspective on their vision as opposed to male dominance, male vision. Let me see the female vision.
I feel like it's important to have as many women as we can, because if you just have one type of women in media and not the other types, then you become unrelatable. People can't relate to you, people won't gravitate towards you. So I think it's important to have women in media, especially someone like Jen, who, she's Asian. You don't see a lot of Asian women in this business. You don't see a lot of black women in this business. So it would be super dope just to see her be the first to be on that platform.
So it's extremely important to me because this is, like everybody always says, a male-dominated industry, and I'm just so grateful and so honored to have the privilege to work with Jen and to see her overcome a lot of challenges and just kind of set the tone for us, the future generation, the next generation. And I'm honored, and it's a privilege.
I would have to say Cypher Sounds, Peter Rosenberg, Rico, Ebro, even Laura Stiles. They definitely mentored me a lot and going after my dream, making sure, you know, you do what you gotta do. Cypher, Rosenberg, I owe a lot of my career to them because they put me on where they didn't have to.
I met Jen when she was just an intern, and she was busting her ass, doing everything that you can think of. And she truly was like my right hand, you know, working when I told her, I need you to edit this, I need you to create this and do this. She would never say no.
Again, also Rico, he was a producer on Cypher and Rosenberg's show. He's the one that really gave me my armor for the industry, because he was so hard on me. Like, he used to just, what? I would do stuff, he'd be like, what are you doing? He did that for a reason. I don't know if he was just messing around with me, but he also just wanted me to be strong for the industry, because this industry you have to have thick skin for. If you're sensitive, if you take offense to things a lot, this is not for you.
And I saw a lot of myself in Jen. That's why I fell in love with the person that she is, because she's honest and she's kind and she's fun and she's always willing to put herself out there and to help other people.
And also Tat and Flex, I gotta really big them up, because on the very first day I came in for my internship, I still remember like it was yesterday, Tat sat me down and was like, okay, this is what you gotta do. Set up the DJ equipment, go get the calls, come back, park the car, come back up, edit the calls, this, that, and the third. This is the very first day. I had never seen a DJ set in my life. And I had to put on the needles on for Funk Flex. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But it was that type of thing that made me really be on top of my toes and just make sure I was on point at all times here, 24/7.
I would remind her when she felt like overlooked, I'd be like, no, we're paying attention. Like, you're perfectly like in the right position where you need to be. And it's been a pleasure. Like when me and Rosenberg or Cypher Sounds, like we talk about her, it's like just to see her bloom and grow has been a really special moment for all of us.
And also a woman named Essence, who I just met. She's the most amazing person in the world. She's also my manager and business partner. She taught me what a boss woman is like and to believe in myself.
I've done a lot in my career so far. There's still a lot more I want to do, but I can honestly say one of my biggest accomplishments to date was when I received the proclamation from the Brooklyn Borough President, and to receive it on a day where I was part of a panel on a topic that was very dear to me about cancer. It was just to be honored for my work from my hometown, the daughter of Asian immigrants. It's indescribable.
As a female and as a woman, we go through these phases where we're trying to find ourselves. And then we think the only way to really be acknowledged is to kind of do what everyone else is doing, or sometimes look like everybody else. I grew up like, I went through racism growing up. It's real out there. I always say this, if every race were to band together and pick on one race, it would be Asians, because we're so easy to like pick on. For me, it was like growing up in these neighborhoods, I felt like I had to I wasn't comfortable with how I looked. I felt like I had to look like another race. It's so embarrassing I'm saying this, but I used to like go around and say I was like part Spanish or like part like something else, because for some reason I didn't want to tell people that I was a full-blown Asian or Vietnamese woman, because I felt like I was going to get picked on for it. You know what I mean? And made fun of. So for a long time I was wearing contact lenses, different colors, doing my hair a certain way, because I just didn't want people to think that I was just Asian. And now I look back and I'm like, why? For what? Honestly, it was a really bad and insecure time for me during those years. I just wasn't happy with who I was, believe it or not. There's a message I could give out there to the women, the girls going through this. It's like, be beautiful, be yourself. There's only one you, and nobody wants to have a copy of somebody else. This goes in industry, this goes into life. They want someone that stands out and is unique. So find what it is that's unique about yourself and really embrace that. It took me a long time. It took me till my mid-20s to really understand that. This is me at 3 days old. I'm dressed in blue. I'm gonna tell you why I dressed in blue. My mother wanted a boy so bad, she did not want to know the sex of the baby until I was born. In her heart, she felt like I was going to come out a boy. So she bought a blue little jumpsuit Turns out I came out a girl instead. This was in the 4th grade, and my teacher, Miss Feinstein, she was a mean, mean teacher. She asked us, what did you want to be when you grow up? And it's so crazy because it says study drama and become an actress, which is pretty interesting because I'm actually in the steps of making this come true. So it's just crazy how a dream as a kid, as a young girl, you can make it into reality. My parents look like G's here. You gotta understand, that's why I respect my parents so much more now. They came on a boat after the Vietnam War. So at this point in time, they owned a supermarket. To owning your own business, I don't know what other motivation I can have to show people and to show the world that, like, if they can do that with $0 in their pockets, no place to sleep, no place to eat, not understanding English. This was a moment where it was big for them to go back to Vietnam because it showed their parents that they made it. To go back dressed up like this in Versace and showing them, look parents, I did it. Look, mom and dad, I did it. We did it. It's very empowering, and I don't forget that. Of course, my mother and me, it was always my mother and us. My dad worked all the time. My mother was a stay-at-home mom for a very long time. But I'm so glad I had the support system around me. My father and I still have a rocky relationship. It tore us apart. I've always looked for a father figure, and that's why with my fiance, his dad became my dad. Rest in peace, he passed away from cancer. He filled that void. Like when I saw the way his dad, my fiance's dad, was interacting with him and his sister, I was just like, wow, like he really loves them. Like he wants to make sure they're okay. They talk to each other. My sister and I, this is Linda, the middle one. My sister and I used to pretend we were like in Broadway musicals and sing around the house all the time. We did a lot of songs together. I wrote my first song with my sister Linda when I was 8 years old. It was called Yo, What's Up? I don't know if she remembers that. I always wanted to be the odd one out. We all had this bulky pink blazer. It was like the mid-90s. And I was like, I don't want to wear this. I don't want to look like everyone else. And my mother was screaming at me like, it's freezing. Put this on. But I was like, no, I want to stand out. I want to be different. So I took the jacket off. I ran up. I said, let's take this picture now. My sisters and I were very, very close. You know, when you live in a 1-bedroom apartment for a long time, and then when we moved to another apartment, it hurt me so much that she doesn't know this, that she moved to Maryland with her boyfriend. I think that changed the family dynamic forever because that sisterly bond that we had, it just kind of, it wasn't the same after that. It shifted things a lot. It was always us, everything. Hanging out, talking, just doing everything. If there was something I could tell adolescent Jen, young Jen, it would be see beyond your neighborhood. I think a lot of people get stuck in their neighborhoods because they can't see beyond that. Their vision is so short and cut off because of their surroundings. So for young Jen, I would have told her to believe way earlier than I do now. For kids who grew up the way I did, that you can make it, that dreams do come true. And if you just work hard and believe in yourself and never give up, it sounds so cliche, but it's the truth. You can do anything, especially as a young girl like myself with dreams and an Asian girl at that. Who would have thought I'd be where I am now? You know, I'm now in a New York market at the top world famous radio station, have my own shows, being filmed, have my own team, Next Generation. It's just, anything can happen, anything is possible. So don't let whatever you see here stop you from what you really want to do, because once you put your mind to it, you work hard, like I said, believe, anything, you can make anything happen.